Joan Quinn Profiles. As an editor for Andy Warhol's Interview, the Los Angeles Herald-Examiner, LA Style, and Detour magazines, Joan covered the social set, the Hollywood hotshots, the international art scene, the mysteries of food, the excitement of travel, and the fabulous world of fashion. Joan continues to find creative people on the cutting edge who make things happen. Here's Joan Agajanian Quinn.
Hi, I'm Joan Quinn, and welcome to the Joan Quinn Profiles. Waiting to be profiled is visual artist Bernard Stanley Hoyos. Bernard grew up in Jamaica, West Indies. His background has been a dominant force in his work. As a master colorist, he creates magical images on canvas, conveying movement, rhythm, and emotion. I guess you started your career early on, Bernard, say about 9 years old?
Oh yes, I did. My mother was very influential in giving me the confidence to really do the work and do more of it because she would rave about it and take it to her workplace. She was an office maid in the Jamaica Tourist Board.
Oh, and she was working in the tourist board.
Right. And so a lot of Americans and people from all over the world would come to the tourist board for information.
That was in Kingston?
In Kingston, Jamaica, right. And she would show him these little things, and every now and then one would purchase one and things like that, and she would bring home the money and she'd say, see, things can happen with this. There's a great future in doing this kind of work.
Really?
So it motivated me to really continue.
What was that work?
Oh, well, it was like soap carvings and watercolors and pen and ink drawings and things like that.
But everything around, surrounding you? And
yeah, it's like a lot of market people, ladies with baskets on their head, donkeys and goats and things like that, and dogs and cats and things like that.
Were you taking art in school, or did you just have this natural ability?
I just had the ability just from being in the neighborhood with kids, and we were competitive in everything we did in sports, and a few of the kids, they had the talent, and we would draw from the comic books, and we were trying to see who was the best artist, so we always kind of pushed ourselves to do this, even before really picking it up in school.
I think this is so great because you said your mother sold to the tourists at the government house. Now your work hangs in the government house.
Yeah, it's kind of full circle.
It really is.
But,
did they buy it? The tourist company?
Oh yeah, they spent a little small change for it, for really encouraging this office maid, and and she's look what my son did, that kind of thing.
That's great.
And I remember one day I was on the way to her office, and I ran into one of the office manager, and he was going to this place called the Institute. And he says, Ben, you should come with me to the Institute because I'd like to introduce you to this lady. And he introduced me to a lady by the name of Edna Manley. And she turned out she was a very prominent artist in Jamaica. And she was the mother of the future Prime Minister and the wife of the current Prime Minister.
And she was interested in children or just in art?
She was interested in art. She was a prominent artist herself, and she would come to the Institute and teach a little and encourage the young kids at the Institute to do art. And I met her, and she told me that I should come on Saturdays, But Saturdays was one of my busiest days for swimming, so it was kind of difficult because we lived so close to the beach. We lived in the Kingston waterfront, and so I would just drop in every now and then and do some things, and kind of was able to formulate the different mediums and the different things that one can do as an artist. And I met other prominent artists in Jamaica at the time. Jamaica as a country, the arts are very prominent, and they treat their artists like dignitaries. You know?
Oh, they do.
So
as they should.
Yeah, as they should. But it was just seen that as an early age. I says, oh, you could be really, this could be really something, you know. So it was an encouragement.
You were like the sports star of the islands, right?
Yes, yes.
Well, I like the idea that you were influenced by two women so far. That's been a big influence in your life. Also, the niche that you've created with the Caribbean arts.
Well, what happened with that was that as I matured as an artist, and I went back to doing things that was very comfortable to me, that was really innate, you know. And after coming here to the States and going to Art Student League and going to California College of Arts and Craft and doing really studies in art and things like that, I was looking for subject matter, something that I could express myself in. So I started to go back to the roots of the culture of the Caribbean.
I see. But you came as a teenager to study art, or you came during your final education?
Right. I came here at about 14, 15 years of age to live with my father in New York City.
Oh, I see.
And was introduced to Art Student League, and I took evening classes there to pursue my studies.
Now, would you call the work fine art or folk art, because it is so embedded in the islands?
Well, I call it intuitive art, which is kind of like the cutting edge of folk art. It has the folk influence, but because it's contemporary, it can't be considered naive anymore. I'm a studied artist, you see. So I bring the studies to the folk setting, so I take it one step further. So basically, in terms of consideration and my perception of what I'm doing, I consider fine arts.
Now, behind me is some of that magic and that musical rhythm on the canvas. Is there a certain title to this piece?
The piece is called Possession, and one that I wanted to convey the whole enigma of being possessed, and to show the harmony that is conveyed in possession as a part of the ritual of the African-related religions in the Caribbean.
Oh, I see. And this one looks like it could be an extension of that. The one
yes,
in the middle.
it's an extension in the sense that it convey more of a contemporary African Christian worship, like Baptist or Pentecostal, and in the height of being in the spirit, so to speak. The piece is called Dancing for the Lord.
This isn't a painting, though. The one behind me is a painting.
This is a reproduction of a painting.
I see, I see. Now, and the one behind you, I don't know if you know what it is.
Yes.
It's more dancing. And
right, and this piece has been a pivotal piece for me in terms of my career, because it's been lauded, it's been given awards and things like that. It's called Passion of X and Rights, and it conveys the a specific ritual of purification of a building, of a compound, where the mediums would dance to remove evil spirit from different places.
A lot of religion mixed in.
Oh yeah, I find that the African-based religion in Christianity in the Western world is a very very contemporary religion, and in my travels and in my work, I try to portray that, because I see it as the kind of religion that is dying out. You know, as I go through the Caribbean, I find that it's not as advent as it used to be. Now it's more formal.
It is.
Know? And you find them worship more in churches and more formal worship, whereas before it would be at crossroads. It would be at any place that you could bring a gathering.
You go back a lot, so you can see what's happening in that respect.
Yes, yes. My father's family was in the revival cult, and so I was able to see it as a child. And in going back, I can see how diluted it has become, and how the more formal religion, more organized religion, has kind of assimilated it, you know.
Do you feel comfortable when you go back to Kingston?
Oh, yes, yes. It charges me up. It gives me plenty of ideas. The people are very warm to my work, because I'm one of the few artists who have taken the culture from that religious aspect and really done a body of work about it. Artists have always touched on the subject with 1 and 2 paintings. I've committed 10 years of my work to doing this.
What about the music? We always think of the Caribbean as this musical place. Do you paint to this music?
Oh yes, I do, and I play a lot to some recorded music of the revival worship, because the music is very vibrant. It's all drums and percussions, and it's very titillating. It's very spiritual, very hypnotic, and I use that. And I'm a jazz aficionado too, so I listen to jazz, and I do like classical music because I've been exposed to all of that.
Did you play when you were there?
Oh, no, I don't play that much. I do like to do the drums, but I usually like to play in an ensemble, and basically it's just for personal enjoyment, not for performance, so to speak.
What about your beautiful necklace? We can't go without talking about that. Tell us about that.
Basically what happened is that I was doing an exhibition in New Orleans maybe about 5 years ago, and I saw there was a gentleman in the street. He was selling all these necklaces that he had made. So I saw this one. I liked the asymmetry to it, and I really basically bought it for my wife with some earrings. And she just always never liked it because it didn't hang right. But she said it was too masculine for her. So I like the idea of jewelry and men in jewelry and things like that. And I don't really wear a lot of rings and things like that, but I like the idea.
It looks great. And switching channels from masculine to feminine, what is a great Caribbean dish? Let's talk about some food.
Oh, okay. Caribbean dish. One of my favorite in Jamaica is curry goat and rice and peas.
Tell us a little about how to make it before we...
Okay. Well, curry goat is basically fresh goat meat, diced and sautéed in onions and Scotch bonnet peppers and curry. And the rice and peas is made from boiling the peas in coconut milk. And and thyme, which is the herb thyme. And when the peas are finished, then you add a little water, then you pour the rice in, and then you mix it up and let it simmer till the rice is finished.
Wow.
It's just rice and peas.
I knew you were a great cook. I knew you could do that. And I think what we'll do is we'll have dinner with Bernard, we'll watch him paint, and we'll listen to some of that great music.
Yeah, what are you then?
That sounds good to me. Thanks so much, Bernard, for being with us today.
Yeah, it's been my pleasure. Thank you.
And don't go away, because we have another very interesting person that we're going to talk to when we come back. Hi, I'm Joan Quinn, and we're back. I promised you someone who loves to talk, and I brought you travel writer Pamela Lechtman. Pam was born in St. Paul, Minnesota, attended the University of Minnesota and Stevens College. She married a doctor, raised 2 sons, wrote for the Health and Fitness Syndicate, and also taught school. She spent 8 years on the staff of Shape magazine. Pam is an expert on spas. She has seen the industry change over the last 20 years, and she's here to tell us how it's changed. Hi, Pam.
Hi, Joan.
How are you?
Great.
Good. You know everything about spas. What is a spa?
Well, my latest nickname has been Ma Spa. And a spa to me is a place where you go to get away from what you're doing in your life every day. And a spa offers a change. In fact, when you go to a spa, you'll know you're in a spa from the moment you enter. The ambience changes and you become very absorbed in improving yourself in any number of ways, hundreds of ways, as you can see.
When you started actually writing, you started as a travel writer.
Yes,
were
I
you
did.
specializing in spas, or were you just writing about travel?
Well, I specialized in spas from the very beginning. I was writing travel brochures for a tour operator on spa vacations, and then I became more involved with spas starting in about 1974. In fact, I just donated my entire archives, 475 pounds of paper, to the International Spa and Fitness Association in Washington, D.C.
Oh, so they have all of the data that
Yes.
you've been working on for over the years.
Since 1974.
That's fabulous. When you started writing, you wrote about spas, as you said. How did you decide to be a travel writer?
I decided to become a travel writer because I always enjoyed going to new places, of course, and I was majoring in journalism in college, and so it all came together in a moment of inspiration when I was at a spa in Turkey, of all places.
Oh.
I was the Asclepium, and I was at a place where Hippocrates had practiced spa medicine many years ago, and I was in a long tunnel, and I was meditating, and it came to me in a moment of inspiration, spa inspiration. In fact, I used to write a column called Inspirational Thoughts. And there were so many spas to see all over the world that I made it my life's work.
So you just gave up travel writing, or?
I specialize in spas and the spa experience, so that has been the focus of about 90% of my writing.
I know you did teach classes.
Yes, at UCLA.
Were they in travel writing?
I taught at UCLA for 11 years in general travel writing. I was just part of a larger course, and my topic was other editors, other markets.
And what did you teach these students?
Actually, I gave them all my trade secrets, and after I felt that I'd educated half of Los Angeles, I quit. And I got smart.
What is a trade secret? How to get
how to
on
sell
a
your
trip,
articles,
how
to put a travel article together, how to investigate, how to plan your trip, how to organize the way you write, and how to recycle your columns, and how to keep everything current.
Recycling. That
Yes.
sounds really good, because all the people who would take your column could be vastly different.
Yes.
So you could send them and
Right.
change the focus.
Right. Well, for example, I've been going to certain spas for 20 years. Rancho La Puerta is one, the Golden Door, the Palms at Palm Springs. So as a relationship grows with the spas that I visited, even the spas in Europe, Baden in Switzerland, Baden-Baden in Germany, Port Crusti, the Miramar Spa in the Brittany coast of France, as their staff changes, as they add treatments, I continually update my records so that at any given time I can open up any of my resources. And people ask me, what's your favorite spa or your favorite treatment? I can tell them because I will have had the information probably in the last 60 days.
And then you could also just update the writing that you did and send it to another magazine,
Right.
or is that the way it's done?
Because right now we're going through such a renaissance in spa treatments. For example, you can create your own spa now in your own bathtub by taking the bath salts from Sharvar Springs in Hungary and having yourself a cure for 20 nights. That's why I look so calm and relaxed, because I've been taking my spa bath every night for 20 minutes.
Well, let's go back to the spas. What should our viewers look for when they think of going to a spa?
Well, I would say, Joan, that they should look into themselves and have some time to themselves to find out what they're looking for. Are they looking to get away from their career, which is giving them a pain? Are they looking to get away from their children? Is their husband or wife giving them a bad time? Are they going through a divorce? Are they having to recover from the death of someone that was important in their life? Do they just need some time to readjust their life's goals? Do they have to lose weight? That's a big reason.
Yeah,
Do they
that's
have
what
to lose
people
weight?
think about in spas is
course.
weight loss more than what you're talking
Many
about.
celebrities have to keep their weight at a certain level. Sometimes they have to gain weight, but most often to lose weight. So they have like a time frame. How long will it take? So once you've determined why you want to go and what you're looking for, then you look to your resources, such as Healthy Escapes by Bernard Burt, where the spas are classified by the type of spa they are: holistic health, life enhancement, non-program resort facilities, luxury pampering, and it's like a matchmaker. And there are tour operators that specialize in making that match. If it is a successful match, you'll probably go back to a spa every year. And that's what, of course, the spas would love.
Now, you talk about going back. There are residential spas and there are day spas.
Yes.
So what is the difference in that?
A residential spa would be a place where you go optimally for 1 week, but sometimes you can only manage 2 or 3 days. Like I just got back from the Claremont Spa in Oakland, and I spent 2 glorious days there, and it was a very quality experience. I had new treatments. I had my hair colored, manicure, pedicure, aromatherapy, that marvelous Courbad.
The Courbad, which is are they the German salts?
The Germans do make salts, and the Hungarians make a certain salt.
You brought some
yes,
of those
I
salts.
did.
I want to just show what
The
it
magic
looks
bath.
like. It looks like just Epsom salt,
That's
is
right.
it?
Not really. Kirsten Florian, who produced these, she went to Hungary and she found a spring that's 1,000,000 years old, and they went down a mile and they retrieved these salts that, and like I put this in my bath every night because I really need to relax. I'm very, very stressed out during the day. I'm always on deadlines. And then it puts me to sleep at night.
The one thing the Claremont had was that restorative yoga.
Yes, you like that. That was a marvelous treatment.
Tell us about that? Just to give us an idea, because I know the manager, Henry
Feldman.
Feldman, said it was so Berkeley. That was the way he described it.
Well, spas seem to take on the properties of where they are, and of course, the Claremont being in Berkeley, they have a lot of new age treatments, and they're more experimental. That's very good for people because it's one-on-one. The therapist will talk you through it. She'll position you, and she'll work with you in a way that she's meeting your needs. You see, that's the essence of the spa experience: meeting your needs on your level. And the people that take it feel that's worth the hour and a half or so.
You talked about the Claremont, you talked about the Golden Door, you visited Skylonda, which is in California. I'm talking about California spas,
Okay,
right?
That's a hike. That's a trip.
That's a trip.
Now, if you like hiking, here's a spa in near San Francisco, about a half hour from the airport. You'll get hiking all right. I was afraid to go. I insisted that I go up there for an hour just to check it out.
Right.
It's kind of like on the lines of the ashram, which is in Calabasas, California, where every day you're hiking longer and higher and having a more challenging experience, so that after a week you are really revitalized and rejuvenated. You're going to go back into your career feeling much more relaxed and much more productive.
It doesn't seem like it could be. It seems like they just break you down and you can never get back.
They break you down. They take you down to like nothing, and then they enrich you.
I see. With
the spa experience.
We talked about spas in California, but I know you've gone to spas in Florida, the Greenhouse. In fact, we were at the Greenhouse.
In Arlington, Texas.
Together, we were at the Greenhouse, which was a wonderful experience. And let me tell you why I thought it was great. Everything was under one roof. And I was introduced to spa food there. I know about exercise, I knew about circuit training, I knew about coming down and keeping your day relaxed and all of the different things that I was looking for. But the spa food was a new thing for me. Tell us about spa food.
Oh, spa food is a very important ingredient in the total spa experience. At the Greenhouse, they had a woman chef. We went into the kitchen. We saw her making potato chips that had no calories. I don't know why, but they didn't. They said we could eat them for an hors d'oeuvre. And the spa chef is really the person at a spa because they will portion or calorie control the menu for you. For example, if you want to lose weight and you want to have about 1,000 calories, at some spas, like at the Doral, it might be on a point system. Every spa has their philosophy, and that's what makes each spa different.
Even the spa food makes it different.
Oh, yes.
Well, are these chefs trained in
they
a certain...
Mainly they have a good background in nutrition. They're going to use a lot of fresh fruits and vegetables. I would not like to see a can or salt or butter or cream or whipping cream in their kitchen.
I see. That's what I was wondering. No fat, no salt, and all the things you were talking about. A lot of fresh herbs. A good
spa chef like Hans Weigand at the Claremont was very proud of his herb garden.
Right. He said he grew his own garden and they used all the herbs every day from there. Now, what about European spas? How do they compare with American spas?
European spas are traditionally more medicinal, and they were established at the time of the Romans for R&R from the battles. The battle-weary soldiers would go there and take the waters. Today, they're scattered throughout Italy, Switzerland, France, Austria, and mainly, they're gorgeous old hotels. Now they are updating these hotels because we're coming into a new age of spas. I call it a renaissance. So the programs are being updated with fitness. They're adding spa chefs who are giving you really healthy food. Time was when you go to a spa and you could have a drink while you're having your dinner. And for a true spa experience, you should really have a program that's compatible with all the elements, the fitness, the beauty, the food, the hiking.
What about the natural waters? When I was in Budapest, I went to some of these pools. They called them daytime spas, but all they were
Yes.
pools of their own water. Do we have that here, or is it just particular to Europe?
We have the curative waters here. For example, in Palm Springs at the Spa Hotel, they have the spa water that's been analyzed. But in Europe, for example, in Italy, I'm currently working on a video on Italian spas. Every spa has a chemist that will analyze the waters. For example, at one spa, it might be better for arthritis. At another one, for heart problems. It's more medically oriented, but the spas themselves have packages that are just as updated as they are here.
So you can get the same experience, do you think, from Europe to here, or do you think
Well,
everyone should have a European spa experience?
The nice way to get into that is on your trip to Europe, go to a spa for a day or two and see if you like it. And there's hundreds of spas. In Italy alone, there's a couple of hundred. Every 25 yards, it seems that there's a spring because there was a lot of volcanic activity there in times past. But it's very easy. You contact the tourist office of any country. They'll give you a brochure on all the spas. I would recommend trying it out for a day or two. And if you like it, go back for a longer time period.
One thing that I noticed about the spas in California especially, and also the greenhouse, the American spas, is they are so clean.
Yes.
You can go into the steam and it's just spotless, and someone's always picking up after you everywhere you go. When we were in Texas and we went
Immaculate.
Are they like that in Europe?
I'd say they are. I've been to some spas in some countries where I was questioning a few things. I was in Russia and a few other places, but for the most part, the clientele expects a high level of cleanliness and professional attitude, and the therapist should be very professional. So I would say by the time you do your research, and heaven knows there's so many books out now, there's just a new book out called California Spas and Urban Retreats that gives you so much information, Joan. And if you call and ask more questions, you'll find that when you get there, you're going to be very pleasantly surprised.
Well, I'm surprised at how much you know, and the time has come to an end, and we'll have to have a spa experience together.
I hope so, and very soon.
Very soon. Thanks a lot for being with us, and we'll see you next time. I hope I'm more relaxed at a spa. And thanks for all those letters you've been writing. Keep writing.